All right, ladies and gentlemen, welcome back. This is Cast with a K, going to be bringing you the Dreamhack Summer 2011 BLC Qualifiers, where the true champions will be decided once and for all. $10,000 in prizes, best of the best showing up for these tournaments, especially for the qualifiers. And joining me today is going to be my co-caster buddy, Simler the Riot. How's it going, man?
Going great, man. So far, we've had an excellent exhibition match that just got my day off to the best foot on the best foot possible. So, man, I'm just excited to be here as always. Glad to be casting some sweet DLC with you, man.
Dude, I cannot disagree with you in one bit, as it looks like we are going to be having two teams. It looks like we will have Team Special Tactics, which is Recordalig, Mr. Repeater, and Bijonsor, versus Orange Zowie, which is...
Orange Zowie.
Wait, hold on. Versus Team Orange? I guess it's just Team Orange. Okay, it's just Team Orange. Whoops. Rexus having a little bit of a grammatical mishap there on the Skype. But we're going to have, again on the warm team, Team Orange. And on the cold team, we are going to be having Special Tactics. I have seen these guys before, and look at that. They have already got some pretty significant grades. What are your predictions?
Well, I would love to give predictions, but I will need an invite first.
Oh, what? I did not get you in? I invited you to the lobby. Come on now. So, I have a new way of updating the overlays, guys, so it will update in 1 minute as soon as things do get saved, and the exploit recorder sees that the file has been updated. Here it is. Da-da-da-da. So instead of having to right-click everything, it is just going to be me typing in this document, and it will update on its own after a minute. So, all right, we're going to see these two teams. A little bit of an intro right here. Got the stream recording. Ba-da-da-da. That's always good. As you can see, you cannot blame me this time. And I want to give a shout-out to everybody joining us here at blgtv.net for these qualifiers, for all the games that we just witnessed before. If you tuned in a little bit early, you did see Zoe Gear versus SK Gaming for the Bloodsport League. Sorry, I've got some hiccups. And if you want to check out the brackets, man, I'm getting way distracted. Scroll down to the bottom of blgtv.net, and there should be a little link for brackets right below that big icon. So you can click on that. Also, if you want to go up to the top, go to the Tournaments tab and click Tournament Brackets. It will take you to the link. Click Dreamhack Qualifier 1, and bada bing, bada boom, you will be at the destination you need to be at. So, Simler.
Yeah, buddy.
What are you predicting for today? Yeah,
I'm thinking this is actually going to be pretty close. We actually have some grade 21s versus some grade 20s. So, grade differences isn't huge like we usually see in these first round opening matches, where we're going like grade 22s against grade 18s and 19s. That's a bit of a stomp. Here, it's going to be actually, I believe, a close game, seeing as how not only, we have close grades, but the system, 61-39, it's not too bad either. So I think we're going to get off to a good start here, have a nice balanced game to watch, get us in the flow, and then we'll start moving on into the second round match.
I think so too. All right, so we're just going to tell them that we are ready and to go, get ready for this. And this is going to be the first round. Again, Orange versus Special Tactics. It's going to be round one in the little letter D in the brackets. If you want to follow along, again, go to blgtv.net, then look for the brackets link just below the stream, as we're going to be seeing some bans and picks at this point. Not bans and picks. Some picks. There are no bans and Bloodline champions. Only for maps. And they did that before we got into the game, as they were very good participants in this tournament, ready to go, ready to make everything go smoothly. As we are looking at somewhat of an SK Gaming lineup from the cold side. Depends on what their third team member is going to be.
The Fist of Fury.
Fist of Fury.
Grafner. This is actually an interesting comp. I mean, they have a lot of balance here. They got Spike Shield, they got Barrier, and they got Rune Shield. So, Choperius on, both of them, Peter and Choperius are going to have a hard time putting pressure out there. Seeing as how, if somebody really is getting focused hard, boom, Bjornzor there can throw a Rune Shield on them, stop that pressure in its tracks, and it's going to be difficult for a double melee team like we're seeing on the cold side here.
Yeah, invite me real quick. See if you can get me on in. So yeah, guys, this the reason I left is because there's a black screen observer bug in the game. Stonelock Studios is well aware of it. In a couple days, it will be fixed. So I guess I will actually be commentating this first match, and we are going to be seeing things get underway right now. As, look at this, Copernicus going to just be using the darts. He saw that the Wuju was out, Bjornzor got swapped. Zowie going to be trying to get some little damage off. He could be in a little bit of trouble. Other side's on out. Copernicus now at 50% HP. Mr. Repeater going to be dealing nicely with that Thorn with that sleep and a deadly injection combo. Such a classic. As we're looking at the Frog, granted, really not being able to do a whole lot. The Worm Team's going to collapse on Bjornzor. What can he do in the meantime as an inhibitor? Will he get his ultimate off? Yes, he will. He's going to get almost all the stacks off right there onto Copernicus. But, you know, Repeater over there going to be pulling the Alchemist back into his deadly roots. He's going to be at 20% HP. In the meantime, Psychopomp does go down. Might be a 2v2 in a little bit. Repeater almost going down. One more hit. Yes, a great pull into Fungal Spores right there. 2-2 situation. Copernicus going to be picking up that rune. This could be very close. Reflected Fungal Spores. That's going to put Peter down a little bit. And all right before that heal goes out, you know, the EX mushrooms. That is going to be, you know, what, 32 healing? That just, yeah, could not get, you know, triggered in time. There's a delay before it actually hits. And unfortunately, the Thorn is not going to be able to survive for much longer. But look at this. Actually, Inhibitor could go down in the meantime while Recordalig is just trying to heal up in the middle and get that rune. So that was close. That was close, ladies and gentlemen. That could have been a kill, and that could have made it a 1v1. And Ranids are notorious for winning 1v1s and being able to finish things off. Oh my gosh. Yet again, Semler. Holy smokes. Are you getting that nerd chills? You getting the nerd chills?
Yeah, hard. But I mean, did we just see a missed ulti out of Choperius there? Venom lunge. I saw him lunge across the screen. I'm wondering if that was the EX.
No, I think he used the EX regular lunge, not the Venom lunge.
Gotcha,
so
okay. I was about to question
the blind lunge.
Question what he was choosing to do there, seeing as how he didn't hit his soul with that. But I suppose it was just keep close with the Bjornzor there. But it's really a pity that Peter went down. I'm really wondering how that happened, seeing as how he did have that EX pull to get that 32 heals off. He did have his Cabbage Patch, and he had so many tools to keep himself alive. So bit of a mistake from Peter there to cost that first round. But he did a great job getting the kill onto Mr. Peter. So, I mean, we're going to see how he decides to shape up in this next round as we're getting started. And it's just a cluster junkie right here in the middle as Mr. Peter taking so much damage. But going to go ahead and reposition himself. He's got barriers on him, and Bjornzor doing a good job coming back to get the peels out. A bit of an other side on the Cabbage Patch there. A little bit of miscommunication on Worm Team's side. But it's all right. They're not in dire straits yet as Mr. Peter taking some good damage. And now we're about evened up. Choperius in the meantime taking serious damage too. Jeez, man. Just damage everywhere. Guardian Spear coming out. Silenced as Bjornzor with a double Goomba Stomp, single Goomba Stomp onto Choperius. Clutch other side to get Peter out of there, but he is caught against the wall. He had the Rune Shield burst on him, and he could not get out of there. Not enough to happen. Other side was down, seeing as how, it was kind of, I don't know, dude. We're just seeing a bit of, I think, miscommunication on both team sides, to be honest, as a Worm Team there, the one was sitting in his Cabbage Patch, and he got other-sided anyways. That's an overlap that really you can't afford to make, seeing as how, had they had that other side up there a split second later when the Rune Shield got broken, boom, they could have kept Peter alive so he could keep doing some damage.
Yeah.
Just a little bit of miscommunication there on their part. It's now 2 rounds in Cold Team's favor. We'll see how they shape up here in this next one.
Yeah, well, I mean, using any kind of defensive ability or movement, bloodline ability, it's really huge that you don't overlap. And, as you were just saying, that probably caused their demise, but a good pull right there by Peter. Not Mr. Repeater, but just Peter on the Thorn. And he's going to have that ultimate. Chopperus going to be using a Venom Lunge, going to get 2 people in it. He's going to get Mr. Repeater in his dead roots, but he's just going to walk on out. He missed the pull. So Peter, as the Thorn, doing an okay job right there, getting the Alchemist sort of distracted, but I got to give Chop probably the MVP right there for having that Venom Lunge, getting 2 people with it. At that point, the Cold Team sort of split because they didn't want to both get affected by the AoE damage that a Venom Lunge does, and they just went out and just died in a lonely little field off in the corner by the pillar.
I gotta give it to Peter. Landing 2 clutch pulls there, both times nailing 2 of the Cold Team teammates. That is so huge, and that is exactly what Thorn needs to be doing. That if he can land those pulls like that, that is such a difficult situation to overcome. Seeing as how, especially they're playing with an Alchemist, Mr. Repeater on Alch, no mobility. So you get those pulls onto her, and she's a sitting duck, open to damage, and she is caught in a corner right now. Zowie and Choperia is getting offensive, getting that silence off onto her. Followed up with Spiritual Link, and Choperia's Peter trying to collapse on there and capitalize as recording 50% HP already. Bjornzor, there we go. They're going to try and get some counter pressure out. Gooba stomp onto Peter, eats the full thing, but Root Wall comes out in the meantime. Mr. Peter not caught in it this time, though. He's able to heal out. He had barrier to keep the pressure off. Venom lunge onto Mr. Peter. They need to put a rune shield onto him. Limit that damage as the Toxic Vial follows. Mr. Peter gets the rune shield busted. Choperia stunned there for the minute, but Bjornzor is so low. They need to get some heals onto him. No, not going to happen. That is it. Goomba stomped onto another side. And complete turnaround by this Ward team. This is what I'm talking about. They're not making mistakes now, my friend. They got warmed up. They got those tournament jitters out of their hands. Got everything flowing because they're not making mistakes, and they are landing beautiful pull. Beautiful play by Peter there. Definitely the MVP of that round.
Yeah. No, I mean, that root wall, as you were saying, it hit all 3 members. It hit all 3 members, and that was absolutely huge. So, and look at this. Oh, swap happens. Actually, as Chop was mid-Frog Leap, and I think he got that 25 damage off just before he got swapped, but, that leaves him in a good position to use darts. He's using camo, couldn't get onto Recorder Lake, and Zowie right here could be in a lot of trouble, but look at that, just using the Scream, and a double Venom Lunge comes out from Chopperus, so great job. Look at this. Cold Team's gonna split right now. Warm Team has the option of deciding who they want to get onto, but a good recollapse here by the Cold side, and they are going to be doing just fine. So Special Tactics just getting caught right now in that dead roots. Not going to happen though, as you swap out Mr. Peter, going to be getting on out of the fight. And look at that, Inhib goes down so quick. Chop not even having any kind of pressure done to him at all whatsoever, as GG well playeds do come out, and that's going to be 1-0 in favor of Team Orange, even though they looked like they were down and out for the count after that 3rd round when they were down 2-1.
You really got to give props to Choperius there. He did a great job peeling. Zowie, was on the pomp, and she got pretty focused there. Great job, from I believe the inhibitor, the Cold Team inhibitor, using that Woji, and that double in cap is so clutch for setting up key moments to get that burst off. As his Ravener jumps in there, lands a couple maces to the face, and already boom, Zowie 50% HP. Great job there. She didn't have other side. She was forced to kind of just run around. But, Choperius, Johnny on the spot, guy comes back, lands a double Venom Lunge, and forces that pressure off of his healer, as the other, Cold Team is now forced to run away, split up, and try and, mitigate the damage that's about to come at him. So, it's just clutch plays like that make all of the difference, taking advantage of mistakes and, good support. Choperius, with that Venom Lunge, great peels by him to support his healer and support his teammates, as Mr. Peter, was just, or not Mr. Repeater, but Peter, Warm Team Thorn, was just going to work on that Alchemist. Great job by them. Yeah,
check your Skype real quick. Similar, got a little bit of an update. Your microphone is very, very fuzzy. I think it's because of the fact that you're just getting so excited for these rounds, And once you start getting into the upper tenures of...
Yeah, it's going to be more of a problem, but...
Yeah, get Skype, do what I said right there.
Why is it doing this?
Automatically
adjust settings. Auto-adjust back on.
Does it? Well, that's good. You want it to...
It's got a mind of its own. No, it's got a mind of its own. Okay, we're going to set it back to where we were last week.
All right.
Save. Okay, we're good.
Okay.
But why would it just choose to reset? Okay. My mistake, everybody. Sorry about the fuzzy mic. Going to get this settled.
It's all good. I mean, it is easy to get excited about this game, especially when teams are pretty close and when you notice a big play does happen. This is a kind of a new gig. And, just the excitement happens. The microphone just can't take it. Stuff just starts breaking down.
My mic is way too sensitive. That's the problem.
So, all right.
It's always been a problem to get that settled. But, no, sorry, buddy. Go ahead.
All right. I'll take this one. So you might adjust some settings right here. We got recorded. Look at this. Chop, he's not playing a very Rambo Ranid, which is good. He's actually playing very wisely. And he's, just going in, darting out, and look at this. He's going to come back, try and get some team support. As I'm surprised Peter needed an other side right there. Thorn is a very defensive character, and really shouldn't need any kind of support, as that's leaving Zowie to just spam heal. Mr. Repeater going to come up from behind. Nice scream right there, hitting all three. As a good pull, Mr. Repeater, as the Alchemist getting stuck in those dead roots, he's going to have to run around the corner. Recorder like one hit from death. He's going to try and come on back, try and get on to Peter over there as the Thorn. Can he do any kind of damage before he goes down? Maybe so. He gets a barrier. Can he get on to Zowie? Zowie's looking very menacing with the double Psycho Pump, Spiritual Link, and bam. Yeah, that's going to be a KO. Alchemist does go down. Everybody was spiritually linked, and that means 20% of damage by anybody else hit by that ability is spread to allies hit by that ability. So you get hit for 10 damage, well, you're spreading 2 damage to the rest of your allies, and that can stack up really easy, especially since a Randed can do 20 damage in one M1 if he gets both swings off, as well as you got Peter throwing out mushrooms and fungal spores all over the place. Can be very, very deadly.
And clutch, root walls. I mean, this guy, he saw that Cold Team Ravener, used her space, and Mr. Peter was in line with it. Boom. Double, triple, Thorn Wall, gets those pulls off. But what am I saying is Bjornzor is taking so much pressure. Peter take it at 50% HP, but he doesn't care. He's going to go ahead and one like mad. He's sitting on full ulti. When is he going to decide to use it? There it is. Mr. Repeater caught against the wall, and that is it. Nowhere to go. Caught in those roots, and Choperius to boot on top of him. Just too much damage to be handled as Alchemist, and that is it. I cannot see Cold Team coming back from this as the Guardian Spirit comes out. Nice punt by Recorderling to get Zowie out of position. Maybe get a counter kill, but no, there is the EX EX pull, get those 32 heals off. Choperius cleans up the inhib in the corner, and that is it. Just Peter, man, he is completely shaping up here, man. Both of these rounds, he's had excellent ultis, which led, to such a huge disadvantage for Cold Team. Last time, Ravener was within 5 health of dying. This time, led to the death of Mr. Repeater. Just great jobs by Peter to support and to put out that massive damage that we've seen from Thorn so recently.
Well, I mean, not only is it good, I mean, he did 64 damage with it. Not the most, but for one ultimate, that's pretty good. But also, it stops Inhibitor from just doing any kind of damage, Recorder Leg throwing out the in-cap maces, because it stops all projectiles from going through it. And that's huge, as it looks like Recorder Leg right now. Oh, barrier is broken. Peter's going to get knocked on back. Could be a time for the Cold Team to maybe regroup, but no, that's not going to happen. Bjornzor are going to keep going on in. Mr. Repeater getting focused. Look at that, the Worm Team just circling around him like some vicious hawks. Dead Roots come out. Zowie maybe going to be trying to get some ability off. No, not going to happen, as he's been in-capped and stunned the whole time almost. But he does finally get a double Spiritual Link, and Peter, just by himself, taking care of that Alchemist, no problem. And Choperius just sitting there nice and fancy as that Randed. He's not getting the circle cam around him, but he did the most damage. And he can do quite a bit of burst, and he does set up with that camouflage to stun combo. And as well as the control that he's doing. Look at this, 90 control. If we keep looking back, he does a decent amount of control each time. It might not be the most, but it's still there. It's slowing the enemy team, and that's allowing for Thorn to get onto him at that point. It's allowing them to not be able to get onto Zowie, the Psycho Pump. Mm-hmm. And just him being so sneaky and changing targets as a Randed is really a good way to play him. I mean, you can play him as a Tunnel Master, but if you just throw darts on some people, slow them down, throw the Toxin Bomb on another guy, you're stacking slows on different people, and you're bouncing around so they can't just tunnel and focus you. The enemy team doesn't know where to go and how to even try and do damage to a Randed, and that's really a big thing. It's a really big thing.
Well, quick comment there. What we saw is, Cold Team, they were not supporting Alchemist as they should have. I guess it's obvious they're under a lot of pressure to perform. It's the last round. They're like 1 round down, 2 rounds down. They're desperate to get a kill at that point. So we saw both DPS, going a bit too aggressive and getting in there and just leaving Mr. Repeater alone with Peter, who is completely capable of staying on an Alchemist all day long and making her life hell, and making it more difficult for her to support her DPS who are trying to net that kill that they need. So what we should have seen, really is Cold Team coming back and kind of just trying to regroup and force errors out of Worm Team, not the other way around where they're going, super offensive, just trying to get that kill, trying to, capitalize on a mistake. We were seeing, we were seeing just too much of that over-aggression. They should have regrouped, come back together, made it easier for Mr. Repeater to get those heals off and support them, and not, make it so easy for Peter and for Warm Team Granted, to sit on their Alchemist, who has no mobility and who really has just a barrier and a sleep to keep that pressure off, which are very good tools for that, but she wants to be using the barrier on them. She wants to be using the barrier on Ravener or on Inhib to allow them to get in there and be more aggressive. Every time an Alchemist is forced to use that barrier on herself, that is just loss of utility, that's going out the window. It's offensive pressure that's going out the window because that barrier is so great for just allowing a melee character to get in there and start laying hurt out. That's just my opinion of what we saw there in those final rounds. Maybe just a bit too much. Maybe the tournament jitters came back a little bit. We saw them with a great start, 2-0 round lead in the first map, but just kind of they couldn't keep it together.
Yeah, and you're right, but on smaller maps, it's really hard for an Alchemist to get good positioning. I would have liked to have seen him use the pillars a bit more, to tell you the truth. One thing I noticed is he was sort of standing in the middle, or he was back off in a corner near the spawn area. If you use a pillar, then, projectiles, they're going to be harder to hit because of line of sight. Also, you can run melee around the pillars. Like Ranid, he can't really use his dash. Like if you just keep spiking around the corner, he can't use his dash into you. It's going to be hard for any kind of real pressure to get on you that way. And if you have the clarity, you can knock him back around the other side of the corner if you use it skillfully. And it's like, okay, well, now the pressure's off of me. They have to use an ability to get on around the pillar, or they'll just play Ring Around the Rosy. And you'll just be like, I'll throw out barriers and I'll throw out heals, no problem, while you just try and chase me around. But if you're stuck in that back corner, it's just like, okay, Thorn's going to get an easy pull onto you. Thorn's going to keep you trapped in the corner with his dead roots, and it's just not a good place to be.
Sure. And no, I agree with that completely. You can kite to a point, because once you're past that point where your team is still taking damage in the meantime, and all the time you're wasting kiting is time that you're not putting heals out there and you're not putting those toxic vials, clutch sleeps, deadly injections, instant injections, all the damage and support that you could be giving your two offensive characters, your teammates, you're not giving because you're forced to kite. And really, I just spent all weekend, watching SK videos, and what they do and why that works so well with Alchemist is that they always have somebody come back to heal. That, it doesn't matter if they've been on there for 2 seconds or 5 seconds. If Chip's under pressure, somebody's back there to peel, or they're just doing so much counter pressure that the other teams that are on top of Chip are forced to come back and try and get Rex and Jack off of their healer. But we weren't seeing that. We weren't seeing that insane pressure going out onto Warm Team. So basically, Peter had free reign to do whatever the hell he wanted with Mr. Repeater, the Alchemist. So we needed to see a bit more support coming out of Cold Team there. But I think we could go on about this for days. Let's go ahead and start talking about this next match, as this is going to be, sorry guys, this is going to be completely one-sided.
You think so? Yeah, I'm pretty sure.
An utter nerd stompage, raffle stomp, utter destruction.
Yeah, especially since these guys have, about 400 to 450 victories. And then we look on the Warm side, and you're looking at over 1K as an average. So, grade-wise, skill-wise, also, I don't think I've heard of anybody on the Cold Team. I've seen June around. I've no Hoffa, and I've talked to Wiki.
Yeah, we've seen these guys around.
We've seen these guys.
Hoffa, I was talking with him yesterday. It's just, these guys came in the grand finals, I believe, of the ESL tournament yesterday.
Oh, did they?
Yes, they did.
Oh, yeah. Technical difficulties yesterday, though.
This is going to be quite the match. If Nightrigger, Kumlin, and Ultra Mega Boy can take a round, I'm going to be very happy.
Yeah. We'll see how this one goes. I mean, sometimes you do see grade 20s, and then you have these grade 14s. Sometimes you do see some good matches, but most of the time it will be a stomp. We're saving the good ones for the last bits of the tournament. So right now this is only the second round.
Second rounds, I think what happened.
We have a third round, fourth round, then we have semifinals for the winners, then then the winners finals, and then we have the quarters, semis, and finals for the losers bracket, and then the grand finals. Those are where all the epic games are going to be at, to tell you the truth. And maybe even in the quarterfinals of the winners bracket, we'll see some really good games there. As I mean, everybody wants to qualify for the Dreamhack tournament in Sweden, and this is the way to do it. So all the good teams are playing in this tournament, and they're not going to be joking around whatsoever.
Top 8, yes. I have no idea they are in the tourney. SK Gaming aren't present because they're already qualified, correct?
Yes. Oh, yeah, I was going to talk about that, but then I got completely distracted. What happened with SK Gaming, and the reason that they're already qualified, is because way back in closed beta, they had a tournament. And the tournament, if you won the championships for the closed beta finals, then you were actually able to be qualified. SK Gaming did win it way back then. They were called in Soviet Russia at the time, but they did win it in similar. Can I get an invite real quick? Black screen bug yet again.
Will do, sir. I'll get this out to you right away. Ba-dow.
All right, I'm gonna get on back.
I'm getting the black screen bug myself, so you go ahead and take this first round.
Yep, it does happen. And again, guys, Stunlock Studios, it is a little bit of a bug they know about and they are fixing. Here I go. I think we're ready to get this one off. So it's going to be All Seeing Eye on the warm team, and on the cold side, we are going to see the Blades of Justice. As we do see a Reaver who does have that mighty sword and a great Kunju on in. And look at this. June already down to about 70% HP. Hoffa going to have to throw out that spiritual link. Going to be, getting everybody all linked up. And Night Trigger, what is he doing way out in the middle of the map? This is not so good. Wiki is just all over him. Dark Ward comes out. That's going to be huge damage coming out pretty soon. Shadow Bolt spamming. And look at this. Kuhn going to be using that Whirling Blade. But Alchemist, oy, my friends. Look. Alchemist was out near the middle of the rune spawn. That's not where you want to be as a healer against a gunner and a harbinger. Especially an aggressive psychopomp like Hoffa when he was throwing out the spiritual links and stuff. You don't want to be there. You want to be back. You want to be by, this kind of pillar. You can throw heals out a far distance. I don't know why he wasn't standing by that hut, reducing the line of sight of the gunner as well as making it harder for Harbinger to hit him. So that was a bit of a positioning error by the Alchemist, and that's why Chip Cyan is so good. He's never out of position.
Yeah, I'm interested to see how this comp works out for them. As a nice chain onto Wiki, forces that other side already, and this could be what they need. Jaffa is out of position onto Nightrigger, and Jaffa, other side is up again. Nightrigger down just so low. This is just too much damage. You cannot be dealt with at all as Dark Ward comes out once again. It's just too much damage. Ultra Mega Boy, doing his job, getting onto Junimals, trying to get the peels out there, but there was nobody to support the cold team out. And you have an angry Harbinger on you as an Alchemist, and life is definitely not very much fun. As SM goes down in the meantime, Ultra Mega Boy, gonna get a space out there, maybe some roundhouse kicks, doing his Chuck Norris impression, but it's not going to be enough. 3-1, 3-0. I see this coming as to a 3-0, man. There's not enough pressure, and really the comp is interesting. Had they gone with Spearmaster, just a Spearmaster, you can get a nice counter off onto Gunner, make Gunner's life a bit more difficult with the Kunjus and the Fleetfoots. But Reaver is an interesting choice to support the Spearmaster. I'm not sure I agree with.
Well, he's not using Drunken Haze enough. I think he's only using it once or twice around. Right now, I'd like to see him use it onto June. There you go. Uses it onto him, finally. And, at this point, he uses parry, and, he's just going to space on out. So good play right there. But look at this. Why is Night Trigger on in like that? Why? Why would you, get in a position where you would get blood gripped? I mean, you can stay around the corner. You can be all the way back around right where my cursor is, at the bottom side of the screen. And you can still get those heals cross-court back into that area. I don't know why he's just going way close into the fight. I mean, if you want to get a deadly injection off, wait for them to come back to you, because your allies will take damage. And when your allies come back, you throw out a heal, and then you can do a deadly injection if the enemy tries to follow up. And then that's a really good time to collapse, because they're slowed. At that point, you can land any kind of ability you really want. You can throw a shuriken, you can throw a harpoon, you can throw, I don't even know, chain hook, all that kind of stuff. Set up even for a Dragoon Strike into M1, which is a combo, believe it or not, because the stun time is long enough. And he's just getting out of position, and he's always one of the first to die. Getting hit by a Shadow Bolt, getting hit by a Blood Grip, and that's it.
it's it's exactly that. It's all about the positioning for Alchemist. And Alchemist, you want to try and maintain that sweet spot where you're just you're just close enough to heal, and maybe you're just close enough for an M1, but you definitely you want to be just out of range of their abilities. That's the sweet spot for Alchemist, where you're able to land those supporting M1s and you're able to get heals off comfortably, but you're not quite in range to get Blood Grip or whatever.
Shadow Bolt
you
executed.
have just enough space to dodge out of those. You see them coming, boom, you take a step to the left, you're out of harm's way. But this is things, guys. These are things you just learn by playing. It's experience. You stick with Alch, and then you'll figure out, oh, okay, this is where I need to be on the map. And you work these things out with your team. You know that you can support who you can support, who needs to support you most, that sort of thing. Who needs barrier, etc. These are just things that you learn by playing. So right now we're seeing, I just want to say, mad respect for them coming out here and signing up and going into these to this tournament. Knowing that they don't have a lot of experience and that they're definitely going to run into some very difficult and competent teams. So you can't take that away from them. That's awesome
true.
That they showed up and that they signed up for the tourney, and I have a lot of respect for them for that. It's just they just need a little bit more experience and a little bit more work on their teamwork.
That's true. That is true. So I guess I'll take this next one away, as I just did get a sip of water and I'm feeling pretty good. Wiki gonna be spacing on in. He's gonna keep going on to Knight, and good Nether Strike right there. EX Execute. Good job by Juna, knowing, hey, if I tried to prime the full Execute, the range wouldn't be enough because the Alchemist would have run away just too much. He got that extra burst damage and slowed in case Wiki had to follow up with a couple more M1s. And Alchemist, again, just getting caught out of position, and they're not doing anything against the Harbinger. Tell you the truth, Night Trigger, look at this. No deadly injection. Where is that deadly injection? Throw out that kind of pressure. If you do something against the Harbinger, then he will eventually have to retreat, or at least force a Nether Shift. Like, if you throw that deadly injection out, he will Nether Shift to try and not take that damage. And while he's Nether Shifted, he's not going to be doing a whole lot of damage. And right there, that was actually a good opening from that swap, and it's going to be an opening for Similar to take the mic at this point.
Yeah, as we're going to see, we get a nice chain in there. Good swap. I like that. But, point blank, Shadow Bolt to the face. Homeland taking insanity pressure right now. Good Blood Grip on a Nightrigger who is sitting on a full... Wiki sitting on a full bar. God Mode comes out, whiffs that Plague. And I like this. Ultra Mega Boy back there to support his healer and get those peels on there. Not allow Wiki to just go to work on Nightrigger. But in the meantime, SM goes down. And just too much damage to be dealt with. You have Jaffa, you have Junamaj. Both of these guys just go into town as Wiki, he's in God Mode. He just lands M1s and he can just heal himself indefinitely. He's not worried about taking any kind of pressure there. But, if you're going to have that sort of situation where Ultra Mega Boy comes back to peel, Kumlin has to step up and he has to keep Jaffa and Junamaj occupied. He cannot allow them to be putting the pressure out there. They have to make it into a 2v1 situation, and SM is suited for that. You have the Kunju, you have the Fleetfoot, and the Whirling Blades. You can control two people for a time. So seeing him go down to that is not what the Cold Team wanted, I'm sure. Yeah,
and I mean, look at this. Look, I've not seen a Drunken Haze yet. Nightrigger, he's actually, he used the Clarity a little bit preemptively. I'd like to see him maybe throw out a Deadly Injection right here. He's trying to get on Ultra Mega, and Clarity, nice, helping him get out away from that Affliction. Shadow Bolt comes out. Nightrigger's now going to be the target as, good Kunju, and the Cold Team's surviving a little bit longer now.
Nice.
Ultra Mega Boy, oh man, gets that kill with the Drunken Brawler, but, oh jeez. Rocket Launcher win. I mean, they took out, Psycho Pump?
But Zaffa, who was flaming, 0 damage tank a couple rounds ago.
Yeah.
Look out, Zaffa, you let your guard down.
I know, but you know what? That's the same thing that happened with this BSL game, Sport League game, right before this tournament, is Zoe Gear just decided to go on to Chip Cyan, but the rest of SK Gaming, what happened is... Ta-da-da-da. They were able to get tons of back hits, get the ultimates, and then just take and sweep out that victory. Just sort of like what happened here. So it happens in lower level games as well as some of the two or the top teams. Like those, SK Gaming's number 1. Zoe Gear is definitely 2, 3, or 4. Right? So this mistake can happen to everyone. And that's why it's important to point it out. Right here it was even more evident. With Zoe Gear, they made less mistakes, but again, that kind of blitz maneuver, very dangerous to do. and you always have to be watching out for somebody hitting your back when you're going to go all in.
Yeah, all in
and
like
throw the
that.
dice.
It comes down to it's just everything. For an all in like that to work, everything has to go off perfectly. You have to get some CC off there. You have to find that opening, and it's what we saw is they got the kill on Chip, but they took so much damage from Jack and Rex that their all in just turned against them there in the end. But it's a viable comp. We saw it out of Giants Gaming. But the thing is, the difference between Giants Gaming and what we saw at Zoe Gear in those last couple rounds is that Giants Gaming were getting insane CC off on Rex. They were trading moonstones and concussion shots. Rex was out of the fight for 5 seconds at a time. It's like, okay, then it's effectively a 3v2 right now. Now we can do our all-in. Now we can get some pressure out there because we know that Rex isn't there to peel, to throw those rune shields out, to throw those silences out, and they just kept rotating that combo on top of him. So Rex spent the majority of the fight out of it. That's when an all-in is cool because you can just, boom, you go in there and you're like, okay, we're not going to take the damage that we usually would. We can't afford to take more risks and just go all three of us and try and get that kill.
Exactly. So once you have that opening, then you can go all in. And once you put them on the defensive and as soon as they turn their back and they don't have all of their cooldowns ready to punish you, that's when you go all in. And the timing is very important. And it gets so much harder. Especially when you think you're about to get a kill, you're just like, yes, we're getting on this guy, or, oh, he's low, let's all space in and get him. But then you got a gunner sitting off in the background being like, hey, execute to the back. Got the mortar because you're all collapsing on one target. Then, you got the chain CCs coming out afterwards, and it puts you in a very vulnerable position. So what you have to do is you really have to lock it up, play the little kind of a chip game, make sure that you're not going to be punished for what you're about to do next, and sometimes reason does not trump, I guess, the irrationality that comes with going for the kill and having that kind of bloodlust on your tongue.
Oh yeah, going for the nerd blood, there's nothing like it. Get a cup of that in the morning, you're good to go. Who needs coffee?
Coffee? Yeah, exactly.
But sorry, I'm just getting a bit distracted by the trolls in the BL Gaming channel. I cannot wait for ban. Being able to ban people out of channels.
Oh yeah, sneak peek, guys. This is going to be a little bit of a hypometer right here, since Stunlock Studios loves being very hush about stuff, and I might get punished for this. But clan system is in the next patch. I think they might have announced that, but clan system is going to actually be in the next patch, and it's going to be pretty cool. So you do have a clan channel, and you'll be able to have all your kind of ranks and titles and fancy whatever you want to do. You can be like, I'm Colonel Cast. Thank you for joining the BL Gaming clan. I think that'd be cool. Colonel Cast.
That would be cool. Hey, Colonel Cast.
Hey, see what I did there?
That sounds like.
Or Captain Cast. How about that?
What is Losu going to opt to play, though? He's been playing a lot of Spearmaster lately, and boom, there it is. Spearmaster, Seeker, and Alchemist.
He always plays Spearmaster.
Losu? He was playing some pretty decent Seeker back not too long ago, like a month ago.
Yeah. Peta warning his teammate not to do any kind of raid shouting. And, if this is going to be the third time in a row, get the black screen bug.
Don't believe... I'm in. Are you good?
Yeah, just get me in.
You invite... Okay, you got to stop leaving.
What? No, because it's black screen bug for me.
I hit your escape at the start. The only time I got the black screen bug is because I didn't hit escape for the end of the round.
No, remember we tested it and that didn't work? Anyways, take this one, Simler.
Slacking. But, we got Berserk Force in the Chick skin going to work right now. Pandrum, nice darts into Toxic Vial. Good damage on the Berserk Force. Jolly Rancher in good position to get some heals out, though. No, what am I saying? Zaplan's the max raise side bite and going to work with the meat fist on Jolly Rancher. Jolly Rancher is in the tight scrapes right now. Barrier comes out in the nick of time, but this is just such a huge disadvantage right now. Barrier goes down. They have no way to get support on there. Zap caught in the ice arrow. He is just going to town, but he is sitting on a full ulti. There it is. Lockdown. Are we going to see the ulti? Max damage going to be coming out here in any moment as Losu and Berserk Force both taking great damage from Pandrum. Frog Leap 24. Boom! Stalag by double kills them. MVP, goes into that goo. What do I care? I just took out both of your teammates, buddy. You're going to die. But, oh man, Zab, great job there. Max range Stalag Bite onto Jolly Rancher, gets him into position, starts laying into him with the fist. And we just had great play from Zab. Look at this guy. He doesn't lag. He brings us the good game.
Dude, yes, that is what I'm talking about. And you know what? Are they playing on? No, they're playing on EU servers.
It looks like EU servers to me. Yeah.
Yeah, because the US guys are lagging a little bit. But it's okay. We're going to be getting this match underway. And, ooh, was that a reflected shuriken? Yes, that was in that Chrono Flux. That's no good, and that's going to definitely slow down the Cold team a little bit and do a little bit of damage as Jolly Rancher's sitting in the back. Look at his positioning. You know, he's way in the back. He's going to be able to deal with a Ranid. Good sleep coming out. Zab going to just try and get a little bit of work done onto Losu, who's just going to be sneaky. Peta and Zab can actually do quite a bit of damage. But look at this. Losu going to be doing a little bit more first as Jolly Rancher is going to just try and deal with this melee pressure, throwing down that goo defensively. Lockdown doesn't really hit but one person, but in the meantime, oh, Aftershock. Wow, you know, I am just like gone from everything that just happened all at once. Actually, Lockdown did hit 2 people, Aftershock hit 2 people, and holy smokes, like Warm Team definitely coming back very nicely from that, even though when I thought Losu and Jolly Rancher were going to put some hurt on after their 2 ultimates. So, similar, give us a quick recap on what exactly happened right there, because I just got blown away.
So Zab, man of the hour, again. I mean, this guy, he has delivered 2 rounds in a row, 2 people getting caught in his ultimate, leading to at least 1 death. Just great job. But, you know, he's you know, you can't say it. I'm not going to say it, but he is lagging a little bit. So whatever, not going to go on about this. We're seeing great play at him anyway, and I want to see how this turns out because, you know, last time they did kind of get screwed over by this. But, you know, Pandrum going to go ahead and open up onto Losu, who is in a fleet foot. Good, no, Whirling Blade gets dodged. Zab going to go ahead and space in there, get on that pressure because though Losu no longer has any outs, going to get caught out a little bit, but a nice pull onto Berserk Force. Gets him caught in that Earth Store. Ice Arrow, he is getting pressured right now. Peta back into, get some heals onto Zab, who's spaced out to facilitate that. Pandrum, double blitz combo onto Pandrum, but it's not going to be enough. Jolly Rancher sitting on a full ulti. Let's see when she decides to use it. As the marksmanship comes out from Berserk Force, Fire Arrow, we're going to have Zab with the ultimate there, double. At least 40 damage everywhere, but Pandrum and Zab are both taking pretty good damage right now. Pandrum with the ulti onto Jolly Rancher, who does have a barrier, not going to be feeling it. There we go, 29 damage. Zab sitting in that Fire Arrow, and that is all the opening Losu needs to get in there, guarantee that kill. Nice little Whirling Blade onto Peta to stop that healing coming out for Pandrum, who frog leaps, but does not manage to frog leap out in time. And,
you know,
I'm wondering if, man, you know, you're watching
it's not over. It's not over, buddy. They could pop for all that damage, and look at that. It's a 2-2. You know, you can't count a Ranid out. Buddy, it just doesn't happen as Pandrum, you know, forcing Jolly Rancher to use that ultimate defensively because, you know, they're so low on health, but it's not over yet. I mean, you've got Herald who's very defensive, Alchemist who's very defensive, but it's going to be between Pandrum and Losu about who can do the more damage, and oh no, Lockdown coming out. That's it. Jolly Rancher is probably going to be screwed. Losu has no chance. Even, look, Peta's just like, haha, Lockdown, I do 33% more damage. I'm just going to space over you and kill you.
Bit of a mistake there. I'm really confused as to what happened. That's what happened at the beginning of that round there, but calling it too early, never a good thing in BLC. You know, as we've just saw, it's always possible to make a comeback. You know, they were a man down, didn't matter. Beautiful Venom lunges out from Pandrum to even that up, and just great damage. It's never over in any kind of situation in BLC. I've seen 1v3 comebacks before, so you can never count anybody out. And my mistake, you know, for throwing the towel in there too early. As, you know, Warm Team, they take this 3-0.
Yeah.
You know, Haim, no idea. 3-0 win there. Pretty convincing over Berserk Force, Jolly Rancher, and Losu, who are no slouches.
Yeah. No, I mean, these two guys, I mean, you got grade 21 and grade 24. Yeah, it's like, okay. You think it's completely one-sided, but with just a little bit more coordination, and Zab is doing a very good job on that Glutton against Jolly Rancher, maybe with a little bit more team support when Zab is trying to focus on a target, you know, the Cold team can come back and win it. Trial and error, they're trying out new things. I think they've changed up their comp a couple times, but they can actually do this, and they're not just getting stomped, even though it's a 99 to 1% odds. You know, they got 3-0'd, but it's not as bad as you really think it is, because those rounds are lasting quite a significant amount of time. And Zab is just getting the better of them, as well as, you know, it's a US versus EU competition. You got some packet loss on the EU side. You got a little bit of latency on the US side. It's pretty even. It's pretty even.
And it's really, just to throw that out there, it's always a pleasure to watch that. Seeing as how Glutton is kind of underpowered right now, really happy to see
Underplayed.
how well
I would say he's not underpowered. He's underplayed.
We'll stick with underplayed.
Anywho, take it.
Yeah, okay, we got this starting up. Nice double fire arrow there by Berserk Force, getting that pressure out there. He's already sitting on full ulti, so we're going to have to see when he decides to use it. As he tries to blitz there, no, Pandrum going to space out. Jolly Rancher in tight spots, but a nice frost arrow there to stop that kind of pressure coming out there. Good chrono by Peta to stop the fire arrow, and that is it. Losu and Jolly Rancher so low. Is Pandrum going to get it? Yes, he will. Berserk Force finds himself alone so quickly. And I just want to note, great job by Peta there with that chrono. We had the nice ice arrow to try and get some peels out. But, he's not going to allow any kind of counter pressure to come out. Boom with the chrono. Goodbye, fire arrow. That would have been some nice damage to go out. But Zab and Pendulum were already sitting so high that it probably wouldn't have been too much of a deterrent in any case. Multi-shot would have been nicer. But,
well, I mean, you can follow it up.
We just saw Losu and Jolly Rancher get absolutely destroyed.
Oh, yeah. I mean, Losu came back and he was trying to do the right thing, but then Peta was like, ha ha ha, lockdown right there in the corner. What are you going to do?
Beautiful.
And then followed up by an aftershock for that 33% amplify. Just was way too much as Losu's trying to figure out a way to go in. Fleetfoot's for no reason. That's going to be an out that, really was misused because he wasn't taking any pressure and he didn't have anywhere to go. And really, as Fleetfoot, you don't move very far with it. So there's no reason you should just use it for movability purposes.
Once again, we see the double shock from Zab.
Yeah.
This guy, monster at landing that. He's had a double nearly every time he's used that ability.
Yeah, look at that. Wow, absolutely insane. 14.6 TPS? Oh.
But like you said, you cannot make those mistakes. As we saw, Zab and Pandrum, they saw Fleetfoot was down. Master Punish comes out from them. They just wreck Losu and take him down in a matter of seconds. Those mistakes are the mistakes that will cost you games, and we cannot see Losu make them.
Yeah, and I mean, just take this one away. Take this one away.
Zab, but Zab getting a little bit out of position there. 50% HP. Good damage from Losu and Jolly Rancher. Losu comes out with the whirlwind, and Peta gonna have his face up, gonna get out of that. Pandrum putting some nice pressure on the Jolly Rancher in the meantime with that lunge combo, as he is just trying to build some meter right now, getting ready for that. Deadly Injection comes out onto him, and he is just a sliver away from the ulti. Zab sitting on his. Goo comes out, but it's not going to be enough as lockdowns follow, but completely smurfed by Peta, who is unable to get the heals onto Zab, as Berserk Force melts his face, and that was it. Zab a little bit out of position, around the pillar, out of line of sight of his healer, who was unable to get the heals and support out that he needed to stay alive. Berserk Force completely taking advantage of that situation and netting that kill for the Cold team. This may be the first round, but I'm not going to make the same mistake again. I don't see how Pandrum and Peta can make it back. Cold team, they have so much health, but you never know. You can't count these guys out. A nice Venom lunge from Pandrum could turn this completely around, but no, Berserk Force not going to let it happen. Arrow to the back, my friend, and Peta finds himself sitting in some goo very quickly here.
Yeah, no. Once a Herald spaces, if an Alchemist has a goo, you're screwed. I mean, I don't care what you do. If you try and out-heal it, then yeah, if you don't have anybody else applying pressure to you. But if you're sitting in a goo, usually everybody else is going to get a little snicker, and you'll have Spearmaster and Seeker just raining arrows and spears down on your face before you even know it, and you'll be dead. So it's always Alchemist versus Herald. You got to be very careful about your positioning. And even though that was at the end, it's just a good little tip to remind you. And a great Chronoflex right there, reflecting a couple heals and a fire arrow. That's going to give Pandrum even more of an opening onto Berserk Force, and that could have just been a very fatal mistake. And let's see what the Seeker can do to sort of counteract that. I'd like to see maybe a double Blitz combo. Not going to happen, as Fire Arrow is back up again. He used all of his stacks for that, and Lockdown actually stopped and not going to hit anyone. Tempest used. Losu could be going down. Is he going to try and get onto Pandrum? Yes, he is. He's going to have that barrier for when that Venom ticks, but Aftershock happens. Can he get the kill on the Pandrum real quick? One hit from death. Berserk Force is solo himself. I don't see how they're going to be able to do this, as the Glutton rushes on in. He is hungry for the kill, and he gets it, and that is going to be 3-1 in favor of him. No idea. They're going to be advancing on to the quarterfinals of, no, the semifinals of the Dreamhack 2011 Summer Qualifiers for Bloodline Champions. So great play right there.
Excellent
both
play,
teams.
excellent play. And see here, we have so many teams in this tourney today that this is just awesome. It's kind of a trial. Haha, get it?
Yeah, I see what you did there. I see what you did there.
But what really I'm happy to see is Oars is in here as well. We haven't seen Team Oars in the longest time, so I'm glad to see that name, resurfacing. But yeah, I know it's that last round we just saw, good pressure from Losu, but Berserk Force, that combo there, it's just that great Chrono at the start. That's why you have Chrono out there, against those range characters. Against a gunner, against a harbinger who's chucking out shadow bolts, you reflect one of those shadow bolts, you reflect and execute. In this case, you reflected a beautiful fire arrow, and Berserk Force makes the mistake of trying to illusion out of it. Well, Pendulum isn't going to really make that mistake. He's just going to let you sit and roast your own juices. And before we know it, Berserk Force at 50% HP, Losu in the meantime getting pressured by Peta and Zab, and just downhill from that point. It's just that one mistake at the beginning, reflecting that fire arrow to the face. It's the game changer that went completely in Haim No Idea's favor.
No, I definitely agree. And that's Seeker's big nuke. Not only does it just do good burst damage, if we take a look right here at the knowledge base, look at Fire Arrow, his M2. It does 22 damage and then 4 damage every 0.5 seconds.
This is a public game? My mistake, Cass, but could you throw me an invite? But it's saying that I tried to join as observer and there were no free player slots? Okay.
Yeah. You have to join as observer. GG.
No, I joined as observer and it was telling me that there were no free observer slots. I was like, huh. So we somehow got 65 people observing this match, the space that it got put up? Okay, never mind.
Yeah, I have no idea, especially since we're the only ones able to be in there.
Yeah, exactly. Okay.
So, sorry guys, can't invite all of you from the stream to watch the game right live in front of you with the nice high quality. Hopefully the stream is a bit better. I worked pretty hard to try and get everything in order last night and trying to get it to a reasonable level. I would like to do 720p. But not everybody can stream 720p, so I bumped it down a little bit, and everything should be looking pretty fine. You should understand what is going on. And thumbs up from everything. Restarted my computer, restarted the modem, restarted the router. Bam. No, nothing should be getting in the way this time. So all lights are green. Everybody's ready to go. As we are going to be in on this next game. We are going to be seeing... Exciting game. Oh, I agree. As we are going to be re-watching an old team that we just took a second ago, All Seeing Eye. They're going to be on the warm side. And we're going to be watching Giants Gaming. It's a Spanish gaming club team, if I'm not mistaken. Similar. What's the scoop on Giants Gaming, if you have any?
Well, Giants Gaming, they're one of the first fully sponsored teams. They are sponsored to go to Dreamhack, and they are a sponsored BLC team, just like SK Gaming, like DEF CON. So it's really awesome to see, these gaming organizations taking interest in the game and deciding, hey, we like these players. Let's go ahead and throw them a little cabbage, get them into these tourneys, get them under our name, under our wing, and that's what we're seeing. And Rave, Thunder, and Mythy definitely deserve it. These guys are so awesome. Each time we've seen them play, we've seen improvements. Last week they got into the semis, I believe, and knocked SK Gaming into the losers. In the Kill the King. We are seeing so much improvement each and every week out of these guys that it's such a pleasure to watch. And right now, I think we're going to see a bit of a role reversal happen as Jaffa Wiki and Junimaj now have the 1% in favor of them winning this. And, Giants Gaming, sitting pretty with the 99. Can't count anybody out like we've seen and like made the mistake earlier of doing. But this is going to be a pretty brutal match, to say the least. Yeah.
No, and got grade 25 on Mythy, who is an excellent Spearmaster, by the way. If you take a look at him, Spearmaster is most played. If we take a view at his profile, over half of his games are Spearmaster. And a lot of these top players, you'll see that with their profiles. Astronomer, look, over 50% played. They know their bloodlines in and out. Thorn, 50% played. Boom. Because in order to get tournament ready, and everybody's like, oh, well, it costs so much for a bloodline. But really, you're going to be playing one bloodline a lot. And for the most part, in order to get competent in this game, and it's a tough game, not going to lie. You can pick it up and you can be like, yeah, Igniter, cool, shooting fireballs all over the place. But in order to take it to the next level, you got to really hone in your skills. You got to really focus on knowing every ability, the range, the timing, the zoning potential, and the combo ability with other bloodlines. That, the game is not even fully developed. This game came out January 13th. The patch right now is completely different from what it was way back in January. I mean, this is the Dreamhack qualifiers right now for a tournament, official Dreamhack tournament for $10,000 in prizes. And the game is still growing, and the players are still developing. Even though some have been in here for closed beta for so long, they're mostly playing 1 or 2 bloodlines. They're not extremely proficient. I mean, you can play them well. If you can play one bloodline, you can play the archetypes pretty well. But in order to master it and to be tournament ready and to play it at such a high level that we're seeing by some of these teams, you just really have to focus on one bloodline for weeks on end until you become like Jackasm. The joke is, Jackasm doesn't play Spearmaster. Spearmaster plays Jackasm.
Yeah, it's all about muscle memory, and it's all about just not having to think when using your abilities. And if you play, that's the point you want to reach with any bloodline. In any competitive game, you're getting to that point where you don't have to think about what you're doing anymore. Your hands are doing it for you, and this allows you to think about what's actually happening in the game. If you're not having to spend that half second thinking, oh, should I Kunju right now? Your finger just does it for you. You don't have to think about it. It's like, oh, Kunju. I see the Shadow Bolt. It's midair. Boom, Kunju. Good. That's the point you're trying to reach when you're getting into these bloodlines, and that's why you see these guys stick to these same bloodlines for so long. It's just, they need to get it down to where it's reflex. They don't have to think about anything. All they have to think about is what's going on in the game around them, and it gives their mind, so much more space and time to be able to just think about the strategy, about, setting up burst opportunities, that sort of thing, where you don't have to think about, oh, should I trance this or not? It's like my finger's already hitting the button. That's the point you're reaching. Don't do like me, where you don't have a main and you kind of just play every bloodline and like, oh yeah, I feel like playing Ravner today. Sweet, I'll play Ravner.
And then I yell at you because you do something really.
Yell at me, and then we'll get in a rage fight, and the people watching the stream will laugh, that sort of thing.
But this is no laughing matter right here. See what I did there? As we're having these two teams duke it out. So All Seeing Eye again on the warm side, and Giants Gaming on the cold team. And look at that, Thunder just staying back enough not to get hit by those Shadow Bolts. As Hoffa and Wiki are trying to do their kind of magic, what they did against that other team we saw him face. I completely forgot at this point. Everything runs together, but that's not important. What's important right now is Wiki might be a little bit out of position. Can Thunder get that M1 off for that slow? As it looks like Rave over here going to have his ultimate. He's waiting for a good time to use it. That's a mark of a good player, not just using your ultimate whenever you feel like. And execute, stopping that Astral Beam. Wiki could be way out of position. I don't know why he went back in like that. Rave does have his ultimate right now. Dead Roots are going to come out, forcing that other side, and this is just going to be a GG, as Hoffa is not even going to be anywhere close to his gunner. Good tractor beam right there, and that is going to be a wrap-up and a nice finish for Giants Gaming, playing it very patient and waiting for that opportunity to get in. Wiki made that first mistake as a Harb, got capitalized, and went down.
Yeah, no, absolutely. That's the complete turnaround that we like to see. These guys, they're playing so completely patiently. And Mithy, landing those concussion shots, landing those clutch EMPs, just, kind of sitting in the back and just, being a nuisance as Rave just goes to town, M1 punishing Wiki, who was losing his own healer, line of sighting his own healer. So, it's these little things, and, the capitalization comes out, we got the Thorn Wall. He didn't even need his ult to take out Wiki. That's the kind of patience and coordination that you need to see out of a high-level team. As, we go ahead and get in this Junimaj whipping Silence and Execute. Not good at all, as Jaffa is under pressure right now. Good concuss shot to get onto Junimaj, and Jaffa under pressure from two directions right now. 10% HP, trying to get some heals up as Wiki gets caught in a Moonstone. Machine Gun comes out, and this could be it. Other side in the nick of time. And, Giants Gaming just looking so pretty right now. Wiki caught in another concuss shot once again. Thunder capitalizing on that, landing that free Spectral Strike, and Worm Team just so much pressure, so much damage. They are not able to capitalize on anything right now as we see the Moonstone into concuss shot. Yet again, I love that combo. These guys, Giants Gaming, so good at executing as the Tractor Beam comes out onto Jaffa. Clutch Silence, though, stops that key Spectral Strike that probably would have sealed the deal, as Rave probably going to get a kill under Junimaj here momentarily. Machine Gun comes out, double kill for Mithy, and that is it. Wiki forced to try and dodge out here onto the side, but oh man, just this is what we're talking about, Castman. We're seeing this excellent patience. They're forcing them back, slowly grinding them down. They're not taking unnecessary risks. They're taking risks, but it's just at the slightest margin for error. You know, they have beautiful execution. Moonstones into concuss shots, just constantly controlling one team member on orange team as they rape the other space. This is just, I love it. This is the kind of play that you want to see at all
You know what
times.
this setup is too? It's really good, and the timing for this is small. But like, look at this. When that kind of like dead